Welcome to Cardboard and Plastic. Today's video is a video about how I'm going to stop grading cards, buying graded cards for the rest of this year, and just focus on buying raw cards and enjoying the hobby. This has nothing to do with the trimming scandal with Evan Mathis posting the TikTok videos, Instagrams of people trimming cards and how to trim cards. This really has to deal with the negativity from both sides in the hobby. So we got these influencers telling you what type of cards to buy, and they always tell you it has to be graded, has to be graded. And the other part is the people that are against it, that are telling you that the hobby is just all scams. All the cards are trimmed. All the cards are altered. One person, I'm not going to say their name, they'll probably be able to figure it out. They had a 1980 Ricky Henderson, and they told the world, the YouTube world, that their card was fake because the blue and the green and the yellow weren't as vibrant as it should have been, so the card had to be fake, and they got scammed. Well, if you deal with cards and you actually touch cards and handle cards, you should be able to know if it's fake or not. And that person had no clue. There's something called sun damage. And if you don't properly store cards, things like this can happen. Here's a beautiful Kobe Bryant Upper Deck rookie, and it has no color on it. Why is this card like this? Because somebody left it out in the sun and it got damaged. It is a real card. It's not fake. Sun damage is a real thing. And you also got to be careful too, because if a card is in a slab, they offer really bad UV protection. So if you have a slabbed card that you keep out in the sunlight, that card can get damaged. The plastic's not going to protect it. The other thing they said was they bought a miscut 1969 and they said it was trimmed. The card was not trimmed. It was miscut. Well, it could have been trimmed. I can't say it can't, but that was a miscut card. And this is one problem that we have in the hobby is we have people that don't touch raw cards telling you what is a fake and trimmed card when they have no idea. So with cards right now, I have over 1,000 graded slabs and I just don't know what to do. I'm just going to stop grading for the rest of this year, and then I'm going to reevaluate in 2024 what I'm going to do with my collection. But for right now, I am just buying cards. And one of the things I'm doing is I collect Rick Smits. I PC him, and this is kind of a hard card to get. This is a 1998 Panini sticker, and I put it on top loader, put a superior sleeve bag over it. I have none of my Rick Smits PC I grade, right? So his card should not be graded. It actually pisses me off when I see like a Rick Smits card graded. Like, really, there's no reason for it. Besides maybe like some of those like the Star Rubies or some of those like other very rare inserts, which I can't really afford anyway. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just collecting raw cards, and I have over 440 of his cards on the TCDB. So that has a checklist of all his cards that are ever made. And I'm just trying to get as many of those as possible. So I think I'm at like 54, 55% of all his cards made. I am buying raw cards still. So here is a raw, beautiful, a little bit off-centered, like most of these, Eddie Murray rookie. Now, I bought both of these cards raw for about 20 bucks. I bought this raw during the height of the market, and then I got it graded. And then I bought this raw a couple weeks ago. And notice that both these cards would have kept their value through the whole market crash, right? So These graded cards, though, they are the ones that lost the most value because these are not as rare as people think. And people get these slabbed and they only buy the slabbed cards and they pay a premium for that. This card is very similar to centering, right? So it's almost exactly the same, except if you take a look at it, you can actually tell that this raw card I have has much better color than that one. And take a look at the back there. It's beautiful, right? So edges. And so there's tons of these raw cards still available out there. And the thing about a raw card is I bought this for $20. If the market completely crashes, maybe it goes down to $10, $15, right? It's not going to go from $300 down to $50, which happened to a lot of people that bought graded cards. So my investment strategy for everybody is opposite of everybody else. Collect cards that you want and buy raw, because the raw cards are probably going to keep their value a little bit better than these graded cards. Because what happens is the more cards that get into slabs, the higher the population, but the lower the population of the raw cards get. And so I bought a lot of, like, here's another example. I bought dozens of these 1992 Topps Gold Shaq cards. And I graded a bunch of them, and 90% of them got 9s. And so what I did is I traded all my 9s, and I sold a bunch of them too for big money for the market and just bought more raw cards. Now, I kept 2 of these. I don't know why I just was kind of scared to sell this one because it's worth so much money because it's in that 10 gem mint slab. But I bought both of these cards between $30 and $50 raw, right? So all my Shaqs, the 1992 Topps Gold, I bought raw for $30 to $50. Even when these cards were selling for, this card got up to like $5,000. This card got up to like $800. So even during the height of the market, I was still buying raw versions of these for like $50. So if I left these raw, they're still selling for $30 to $50. So I could, but the problem is right, if you bought this for $5,000, that was your experience in the hobby. You took a $5,000 card and now it's selling for $1,000 or even less, like $900. So you lost $4,000. So if you just bought raw cards, the worst that would have happened is you took a $40 card and now it's worth $30. So grading itself has really hurt the hobby. We have overpaid for slabs as investments. And the other thing is these grading companies are grading 1 million sports cards every month. $20 million is leaving our hobby into the hands of PSA, SGC, and grading for me and all the money that we're putting into it, it's really hurting the hobby. Not all cards need to be slabbed. Now, what needs to be slabbed? So, authenticity, right? So, people buy fake cards. And really for fake cards, you're pretty safe in vintage not buying a fake card if the name is not Mantle, Jordan, Gretzky, Ruth, Gehrig, those top names. Mickey Mantle cards are some of the most counterfeited cards. There are a lot of fakes out there. Now, this card I know is real. I bought it. It was in a lot of other cards from 1963, and it was damaged, and I knew that as well, right? But why did I grade this, really? It's a Mickey Mantle. I just wanted it. It's my only Mickey Mantle that I have. And if you are buying like a 1952, 1953 Topps Mickey Mantle, and you don't know about raw cards, you don't handle them, just buy it slabbed. A lot of the fake cards that I see, like on the forums, when people come, they say, "Oh, I bought this 1953 Mickey Mantle," and they always buy it from like Facebook Marketplace. Like that's the biggest scam region. I always see Facebook Marketplace. That's where people get ripped off the most. So Mickey Mantles and even Michael Jordan, like, do not buy a 1986 Flair Michael Jordan raw. Buy it graded if you want to buy one of those. Even the 1987, which I do have, I have a PSA 7 in that, and this is an CSG 9 that I bought raw and I got graded. So yes, there's still great versions out there. I didn't use PSA. In the future, if I ever do sell this card, I might crack it, send it to PSA. Maybe I'll pay for a little bit more of my daughter's tuition. But this card is a very faked card as well. So if you don't know what you're looking for and you buy this card raw on eBay, there's a lot of these fakes. So Michael Jordan, it's just not the 1986 you have to worry about. The 87, 88, even the 88 All-Star. There's a lot of fakes out there for those cards. But I did grade this one because it was beautifully centered, beautiful colors. And I had a PSA 8, and this thing put the PSA 8 to shame. So this would get a PSA 9 in my opinion if I sent it in. And I might do that in the future, but I'm not grading for a long time. And so grading always doesn't add value to cards. For instance, this is a short print, Nolan Ryan, 1970. And this card, it really doesn't matter the condition it is in. People pay big money for this card because it's rare. There's a lot of set collectors that need this card since it's a short print. And they'll pay very good money for this. So sometimes if you don't need to spend money to make a good investment in a card, because there's always going to be set collectors out there, and this card is real. I measured it, but it is almost miscut at the bottom. This card would grade pretty low, but it looks great. I'm going to probably put this in a top loader, just store it away, and add this to my PC. Now, it is hard for me because I have over 1,000 slabs, and I just don't know what I'm going to do. Am I just going to trade the slabs in for raw cards, or maybe get myself into some older vintage? I always wanted like a 1933 Gowdy, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth. Maybe just get a bunch of my slabs, put it together, and get a slab of like a 1933 Gowdy, Babe Ruth, which that's another card. Do not buy that one raw. So let me know in the comments, are you still grading, or are you getting more into raw? I want to know if we have more raw collectors out there and just getting fed up with this whole grading scheme. Have a great day and keep on collecting.